All right, good afternoon. It is afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another in our series of Member Connects, where we bring new FIA members to our existing membership to talk about offerings and other things that might be of interest. We are really pleased to have Clynk as an FIA member, back as an FIA member, I'm going to say. So welcome back. Clynk was founded in 2005, recognized the need to make bottle redemption easier for consumers while taking redemption out of the grocery store. They operate in Maine, New York, Iowa, and now Connecticut. I know some of you are familiar with what they do, but we're very happy to have Matt Prindiville, CEO of Clynk, here to provide a presentation to all of you. So with that, Matt, thank you again for being here and being willing to present to some of our members. And I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Laura, for setting this up. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you today. So Clynk, we're a circular economy solutions provider. We make it easier for brands and for people and retailers to do the right thing through our innovative bag drop redemption services. And when I was a kid, my dad worked in New York, so I spent a lot of time in New York as a kid, but I actually grew up in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I didn't realize it at the time, but I and my brothers and friends were among the first generation of kids to grow up with the bottle bill. It was passed in 1982 in Massachusetts. I was born in 1977. And so I learned about the bottle bill right around the same time that I learned how to ride a bike. And, we would bike through the neighborhood, go to the neighbors, ask for their bottles and cans, pick them up off the side of the road. And the redemption center, the one that was closest to us, happened to be right next to the bowling alley. So it was essentially, one-stop shopping. Go to the redemption center, head over to the bowling alley with all of our change, and quickly spend it on candy and soda pop and the arcade. And we thought the bottle bill was the best thing ever. But what I distinctly remember, what wasn't the best thing ever, was the redemption center experience. And I can remember, standing in line. The place stunk of stale beer and stale sugar. There were flies, around, and we were always concerned that the guy that was hand counting all of our bottles and cans was going to short us on our nickels. So we watched him like a hawk, and it was a suboptimal experience. And I think Clynk was really born out of wanting to create a better experience for the consumer. And so, the founders of the company tried a number of different ideas, and as they were experimenting, they recognized that the consumers don't just have a problem with redemption, that the retailers do as well. I think as many of you know, most bottle bill states require the retailer to have some kind of redemption on site or close by. And so, retailers were also struggling with having to comply with the law and some of the similar challenges that redemption centers experience through having these operations on site. And so the whole idea was, how can we solve for the pain points for the consumer? How can we solve for the pain points for the retailer? And so the big idea was to take the bottle room out of the store. Let's take it out of the store. Let's put it in an attractive, tech-enabled, branded shed out in the corner of the parking lot. And let's make it easy for the consumer as well. Let's just have them put all their bottles and cans in a bag. They're already doing that anyway, whether they're going to a redemption center or using a reverse vending machine. And all they have to do is slap a QR code or barcode sticker on that's attached to their account, drop the bag, and then go about their merry way. And then the other thing that we did is we recognized that we could couple, the ease for the consumer with bag drop with what we believe is the world's first digital sustainability wallet, where they can access their funds through their smartphone or through a kiosk in the store. They can spend that money on groceries, or they can donate it to their favorite charity. And then, we're an operator as well. And so we wanted to figure out, how can we bring efficiency, technology, and speed to the processing of returnables. We actually developed some solutions that were originally meant for redemption centers, and then we started moving towards bringing all of our bags to centrally located plants where we can process them all using state-of-the-art technology. And so, we've got a lot of experience in this business now at this point, having done this, created this innovation for 18 years. Again, in the process of making this easier for consumers, it's a very simple way to get signed up. You can either sign up through our website, through an app, QR code on the sustainability station. There's kiosks in our participating retailers where you can sign up. Once you sign up, you just get your bags at the store. Again, put your bottles and cans in them, drop them in the sustainability station, and get money deposited in your account several days later. So by the numbers, we've had 18 years of the business as the pioneers of bag drop recycling and redemption. We're currently in 5 states. We have our 2 plants here in Maine. We have a plant in Scotia, New York. We license our technology to service providers in Oregon and Iowa, and we're standing up our solution in Connecticut next month. So we're very excited about the expansion that's going on and the enthusiasm and interest in our bag drop innovation. I'm going to skip over the rest of these and get to the good stuff for retailers. But before I do that, I just want to talk about causes. So we have about 3,500 charity accounts, and this is anything from larger organizations like the Humane Society all the way down to your kid's Little League team. And out of those 3,500 accounts, we've helped to drive nearly $5 million worth of value that folks are donating through our platform to these charities. And one of the things that I want you to take away from this is that the charities love this, right? And so they're out there spreading the good word. It's helping to create a network effect and positive branding, not just for us and for recycling, but also for the participating retailers. Another takeaway I want you guys to have is that people love this. They love this service. We have a tremendous amount of positive feedback. We have a net promoter score, which is really off the charts. And so because of that, it also drives a number of additional things for our partners. So as you can see from this slide, 96% of our customers are either extremely satisfied or satisfied with our service. We have about 8 in 10 that are actively recommending our service to their friends, family, and neighbors. That's a big reason why we grow each year organically in spite of doing very little marketing. So why do people like our service? The bottom line is it's just more convenient, right? It saves time, it's simpler, there's no lines, it's easy way to get deposits back. A lot of folks let their accounts accrue for some time, and then they spend it on splurge. They might want to go buy wine for Thanksgiving dinner, or they might want to do something fun with the kids, and then this provides them an opportunity to cash out and then get some more things at the store. So one of the things that this also provides is a halo effect for the retailers that we participate with. Again, from our survey data, 93% of Clynk customers think that it's a positive feature for the retailer, and 56% say the offering has made them more loyal to the retailer. We know that we are helping to drive foot traffic, additional spend in store, and more customer loyalty. And in the zero-sum game of food retail, we know that is high value. So the other thing that we provide is we're really a proven go-between. We really like to see ourselves in the center of an interaction field between the consumer, the retailer, brands, and the circular economy. And we feel that it's our job to really help to reduce friction in that system, to drive value, drive velocity, drive communication across the ecosystem of redemption through technology. Having technology be a force multiplier in value creation for all of the different parties that are involved in the system. So this is a mock-up of our new sustainability station. As we've been expanding, we recognize that some of the ways that we were doing things were a barrier to entry for retailers. So for example, having retailers have to create a pad underneath the permanent structure or bring power to the site, or have store Wi-Fi, have our Wi-Fi connect through the store. So we just said, let's design a completely independent solution. And our innovation lab here, our folks in our innovation team created a whole new sustainability station design You know, it's completely solar powered, satellite Wi-Fi. What we're really excited about is that the station itself is made from recycled PET plastic and with a recycled aluminum frame. So we're literally taking the bottles and cans that we're collecting. Those are being turned into the structure that we are putting out there in the field. We feel like it's a great story to tell and helps to engage customers around the opportunities that we're providing for redemption and for recycling. The other thing I want to point out with these is that because we're manufacturing these in the facility off-site, we can flat pack them and ship them with our technology and set them up in a day. So it makes it very easy to scale quickly when we find participating retailers. The other thing is that they're modular, so we can customize them to the site. So if it's a heavy volume site, we can go up to 5 or 6 doors. If it's a lower volume site, we can shrink the size down as needed, and of course we can repurpose them. So we can just pick up the smaller one and drop a bigger one as the volume dictates. This is my last slide, and then we're happy to ask questions. I've got several folks from my team here. Bridget O'Brien, our Chief Operating Officer, Dan Kiley, our Chief of Staff, Jules Bailey, our Chief Strategy Officer, and Lauren Standel, our Director of Innovation and Business Development. So we're happy to have the full team answer your questions, but I just want to leave you with kind of what we see are the 10 ways that we can drive more value for the food retail community. You know, we've been able to show that customers spend more in store. So our Clynk customers actually spend more in store than your average customer. We've been able to demonstrate greater loyalty. We provide a clean and simple customer experience. There's minimal retail involvement. We really want to be the easy button for retailers when it comes to redemption. Let us take redemption off your hands. Let us deal with all the headaches, and you guys do what you do best, which is sell food and beverages to all of us that want and need them. We also think you can get some of your store back if you partner with us. There's access to consumer communications through what we can push through our app. There's also marketing access to the consumer funds that are in our digital sustainability wallet. We can integrate with your point of sale system or your rewards programs. There's access to unique consumer data. We understand exactly what your consumers are purchasing on the beverage side. And then there's significant revenue opportunities. We found that some of the folks that are using our platform actually want to offer more to the consumer on top of what's in their redemption account in order to get them to spend that money in store. So significant revenue opportunities and lots of other ways that I probably didn't think about before delivering this presentation. So thank you so much for being here with us today, and we're excited to answer your questions.
Thank you, Matt. So if anybody has anything that they'd like, to ask or create a conversation, happy to jump right in.
I have a question. This is Kelly Capello. I work for Price Chopper Market 32 stores. I am sitting in for Bernie Sosha, who couldn't join the call today.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Just probably have more questions than you want from me, but I'm just curious for a few things. But
please.
Like the kiosk, is there a rental fee for this? A cost, flat rate cost, a rental fee, or in maintenance? Like if something happens to it, like what would that entail?
Yeah, Kelly, this is Dan Kiley, Chief of Staff. Yeah, we can certainly answer that for you. So the kiosk is part of our overall tech package. Our original models had the retailer purchasing and owning a lot of the equipment themselves. Our new model has us purchasing, building, and supplying the retailer with both the depot and in-store kiosk. So we've taken all the pain points out of retail, making it easier for you to get into the operations with us, and also reducing the amount of work that store associates have to do at the local level. So it's all rolled up into one monthly fee, which includes the tech and equipment rentals, as well as servicing from customer support, retail support that we provide you and your associates, as well as any kind of billing or partner services that we provide.
And the sustainability station.
And a station.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I don't want to hog the show here, so if anybody else wants to cut in, please do. But the next question is like the supplies, like, you know, I read online that the customer gets 10 bags after initially signing up. Is the bag cost to the consumer, or do we carry them in store and they're there for purchase, or is it a, you know, a retailer cost?
Kelly, it's Bridget O'Brien. I'm happy to answer that. It's a programmatic choice. So the retailer can decide if they want to, own that bag process, help, work with us to set the price, and then sell those Clynk bags in the store. With our current partner, they made a decision that they wanted new customers to have the first 10 bags for free. Again, programmatic choice. So we would work closely with you or anybody else to actually design the best experience that works for your brand and your consumer cohort.
Okay. Just making a few notes here.
I
And that
would,
would- oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, sorry to interrupt. You go ahead.
Well, I just was gonna say, you know, that probably falls under the bag tags as well, and, you know, for that supply piece and,
Yep.
yeah, okay,
About the supply piece, Dan,
Yeah,
again.
Kelly, I could handle that one too, part of our new technology package also includes pre-printed bags with QR codes. So we've taken out the need for bag tags at the store level. So the only supplies that are managed and would be purchased through the retailer are the receipt paper for the kiosk receipts.
okay,
So we've taken out a lot of those friction points. And while I'm here too, just the other side of the new sustainability station, as Matt said, it's both completely off grid, so our solar capabilities and cellular means that there's also no site work or prep that has to be done. These are modular units. They can be rolled in and positioned exactly where you'd want them on a parking lot or pad. So there's no construction costs any longer with installing these, and they're completely off grid, so there's no connection to local utilities or anything like that. Again, that's a cost that the store used to bear as part of the program that we've taken out as another friction point.
okay, very good, thank you. I'm gonna let you have the floor, Rebecca.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm gonna just ask about some of the pickup. I'm sure that the frequency is dependent upon volume, and I'm sure there's ways that you all have for strategizing and figuring that out. But can you kind of describe the pickup process and what could be expected around that?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer that question. So, we have cameras inside the sustainability stations themselves. So we're able to see what happens as they're filling up. And so we're able to service those based upon the volume that's coming into the stations. We have routes that we run, but we provide a high level of service. Our goal with all of our retail partners is to ensure that when the stations start to fill up, that we are clearing them out. And so sometimes, in high volume, sunny days in the summertime, like we're going back to a particular station even half a dozen times because there's so much volume coming through. Spring cleaning, fall cleaning. We've been in this business long enough that we know when the peak periods are, and so we make sure that we're resourced and ready to go when the volume dictates.
And Rebecca, in addition to the cameras, we have a system where we have at 24/7, we can look at any box, we can see, how much product is in those boxes, and then we can dynamically reroute drivers, based on a particular location or a particular region. So we manage it by the moment to make sure that we're picking up product in an expeditious fashion.
And I would say this is one of the things that differentiates us from redemption centers. A lot of the time they're not having that same pickup frequency, and so the product can often build up inside and outside the store. And I think for some folks that see that, you might think, what's going to happen if we go with a different system? We ensure that our system is getting the product as it's building up.
And one last element to that, Rebecca, is we also could tailor the size of the sustainability station. So we have an 8x20, which is our smaller size, but we go up to like an 8x32, depending on the individual storage volume.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question to tailgate off of that? Is there a haul fee or a pickup fee for each time a driver goes to that station?
No, that's all built into the program costs, and as we start to work with a retailer, we'll negotiate some of those. There is a pickup fee for a brand's private label, as if it was at a redemption center or anywhere else, but that's all part of the service that we provide. So we don't do a per pickup fee or cost associated with that.
Okay. And I ask that because I do see that with some of our rubbish removal. So there's a haul fee every time they go, and it can be quite costly.
Yeah, we don't do tipping charges that way. And
No.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I got just one question about the, I'm sorry, Tom Durkin from Tops. How are you? So just a question regarding the additional revenue streams. You know, and again, we're pretty far down the path with you folks and trying to decide that. I guess for me, do you have some examples of some other revenue streams or even some statistics about how much money is truly entered into the store? I guess that's my question about, you know, giving up our handling income.
Yep.
And just trying to replace that, you know, turning a revenue stream into a cost basically is what the ask is here. Just want to make sure I understand the finances of that.
You want to cover that or?
well, why don't you talk about the marketing side of things?
Yeah, so you know, one of the things we you know, not have just simply observed, but that we have market research on, you know, we're always talking to our consumers and the food retailer that we serve is that the Clynk cohort spends all or most of their deposit back in the store. And there are things that we can do to enhance that, to encourage more buying. You know, you've got to go and drop your bag. So we can encourage a shop with a drop. We know what is in people's bags, so we can do targeted offers to people through the kiosk, through the app, through the customer portal. So there's all sorts of ways to leverage data and our one-on-one engagement, because we know who each of these consumers are, to drive incremental revenue opportunities.
So are you actually doing that stuff with Hannaford?
Yeah, we have done that. Yes,
And again,
yes.
for me, you know, what you're saying is, you know, I understand, but we get that now, right? I mean, when somebody comes to our RVM machine and they, you know, they put cans and bottles in there, they get a ticket and they go to the cash register, and, you know, the assumption is that most of that return dollars is going right back into the store, which is great. I'm asking for what kind of statistics do you have that we can leverage that? What kind of programs exist? What are the other companies doing to, you know, improve that scenario?
Maybe I could jump in on that for just a moment. Hi, this is Jules Bailey. I'm Chief Strategy Officer for Clynk. And I'm relatively new to Clynk. In my previous role, I ran the bag drop program in the state of Oregon that uses Clynk technology. So Clynk stood up the program in Oregon that's a very similar analogous program and works very closely with retailers in the state of Oregon and has bag drop at multiple different retailers there. And in that program, the way that it's structured with the Clynk technology, a lot of the retailers there actually have they have self-organized to offer a 20% bonus. It's like a coupon on the bag revenue for the consumer if they cash out an in-store credit voucher. And it's essentially a marketing cost, and then the consumer can spend that in the store. So if they have $10 in their Clynk account, they get $12 if they spend it on in-store credit. Not every retailer does that, but all the major ones do that. And it is what we know from the statistics that we can track very carefully in-store credit vouchers versus cash vouchers, that there is about 75% of all cash outs are for in-store credit versus cash. And even without that bonus, we can track at retailers that don't offer the bonus. It's still well over 50% are for in-store credit vouchers, even when there's not a bonus offered for that. So what we found is that in tracking very closely the data from some of these, while one might assume that the RVM customer is getting cash in the store and then turning around and spending it, some of them certainly are, but that's not always the case. And that the green bag customer with that account, especially with couponing that can be attached to it, definitely drives in-store purchases through store credit.
And Tom, another way to look at that too, and you know, we can, as we continue conversations, we can get to this more specifically, but what Clynk offers a retailer is also that ease of convenience. So even, you know, as we know today, consumers split their basket over multiple retailers, whether it's a local grocery store, whether it's a department store like a Walmart or Target, a big box club store like Sam's or Costco or whoever, right? But because of the program offered through Clynk and the ease and convenience for consumers, especially utilizing sustainability stations, you attract a new customer that may not be a customer for you, for example, for Tops, but they shop somewhere else. And because of that, we're driving net new customer growth to the retailer, as well as the incremental spend. And the Clynk customer tends to spend more per visit than a non-Clynk user does. And we have the data to kind of back that up. But it's that type of incremental growth in both transactional and market basket spend that is also the added value.
Yeah, that's the kind of data that I'd be interested in.
Yep.
seeing.
Yep, we can
Yep.
share that with you, Tom.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, with the
Okay.
time we have here to go into a lot of that, it's going to be really challenging, but yeah, we can follow up with anybody and everybody.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, then I have a question that probably goes the opposite direction. I'm going to think of the old schoolers and the people who are not tech savvy or don't have the smartphones and the apps and things like that. So
Yep.
then it becomes maybe an inconvenience for them because they don't or can no longer return bottles at the grocery store and have the clerk take care of it for them. So
Yep.
what are the statistics on that? I mean, you know, there's those people out there. I'm not going to say, you know, I don't know, the new generation generally grew up with technology and they're all on it, but there are still our senior population.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Kelly, I can kind of cover that too, because as we've done a lot of the research around this, right? Over 85% of Americans have a smartphone today. A smartphone for most individuals has really taken the place of a personal computer in many cases, especially in low income areas, because they don't have home Wi-Fi or internet connections. They use their smartphone for everything. And I will tell you, I grew up in the Albany area. I grew up in East Greenbush. My mother is a loyal Price Chopper shopper.
Good to hear.
She's got her smartphone, and she clinks through our local church as the funds go to a nonprofit charity at the church. But you know, the consumer market today is more in tune, I think, than sometimes we think about. And Backdrop is not a replacement. It's a complement to RVMs as well as local redemption centers. So it's a third modality that doesn't exist everywhere today. And it just gives people choice. It may not be as convenient for everybody as an RVM is, but it offers and expands the offering to consumers who don't recycle, who don't redeem today. And those are a lot of those net new customers that you generate because it's just simply easier. So therefore it makes the whole process of recycling easier.
Right, right.
And you know, one thing I would add to that, Kelly, is that we're also seeing a push for higher redemption value. So, you know, the nickel often, like that was passed in the 1970s in most places, right? And so I think that, as we've seen in Oregon, where Jules was, they moved from a 5 cent to a 10 cent deposit. And they moved that redemption rate, correct me if I'm wrong, Jules, from somewhere in the 60s up to the 90s, through doing that. And we are seeing a push in legislatures. I was in Rhode Island yesterday. They're looking at a bottle bill in Rhode Island. 10 cents, I think, is going to become the new standard. And, that's also going to really start to drive the value for folks that aren't redeeming today, because, a bag might be $2 or $3. When it's, $5 or $6 a bag, that really starts to change things. And so I think that you'll start to see that. I wouldn't be surprised if New York comes up with a 10-cent deposit soon. And we also expect to see, and we hope to see, some harmonization across state boundaries. So all the bottle bills in the Northeast are different. Our hope is that in the next 5 years, they start to look a lot more like each other, so that the solutions providers like us, the retailers, the brands, we can all have more predictability and stability in the system and build out for the whole region, as opposed to trying to shoehorn different strategies for every little state.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm surprised New York wasn't first on that list, to be honest with you. And I laugh facetiously. That's not funny, but I just know that, everything else is high in New York. So.
And Kelly, one other thing too, Bridget kind of picked me under the table to remind me that we have a low-tech solution as well. We can generate a manual card versus a smartphone app.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
consumers
okay.
to do.
Yeah.
Yep, so.
So we can meet their needs as
Yeah.
well.
Got it. Okay, great.
Any other questions?
Are there specific people to contact to talk about signing up?
Yeah, so what we can do is we obviously are recording this, and we will be sharing this with our entire membership, and it'll be in our newsletter. But to help facilitate conversations, you can email FIA, you can email Laura Mastriani with FIA, and we're happy to connect folks so they can have
Okay.
one-on-one conversations beyond
Yeah,
that. So feel
because
free to reach out to us.
Yeah, Bernie had asked me to, get a contact, so, and I have her email already, so that's perfect.
All right, we're happy to do that, help make those connections.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. And that goes to anybody that's watching that wasn't able to participate today. To those are, unless Matt, if you and your team have anything else that you want to just add before we move on.
No, I think this has been great. Michael and Laura, thank you so much for setting this up for us. And we really appreciate all you folks showing up. We know it's the end of the legislative session there in New York. And so I'm sure you all are very, very busy. We appreciate your time today and look forward to future conversations.
No problem. And we appreciate it. And as always, to those watching, this is something that existing members, new members, we're always happy to try to schedule something for folks to take advantage of. So if you're interested, please reach out to us, to the Clynk team. Thank you. And to the members that participated today, we thank you, and to those watching. So with that, thanks a lot. And I hope your summers are off to a great start as we end the legislative session, hopefully today here in Albany. So
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Oh, no, it started.